the material conditional. And second of all, the issue that you have is that what I asked you there was to give me an analysis of what reliability is, and then you said, "Oh well, give it this reliable, then the inference doesn't work." What I'm asking you is to give me an analysis of reliability. And so now we're going to try number 2. Give me an analysis of reliability.
Of reliability in what sense? I'm literally just
In the sense that
talking
you
about
use it whenever you said modus ponens and inference rules are reliable.
No, I was just hold on. You're not getting what I'm saying. I said your term is positing, right? Like it's positing that this particular how you call it, this particular inference rules, right, under skeptical suspension. So that's the first one. So they cannot be relied to generate conclusions.
What
That's
is
the main
wrong
point.
with you? Wait, okay. Do you know what the term you can be skeptic there means?
I'm saying that if you're claiming, hold on, if you're claiming that's okay, let me make
Wait,
it easier.
no. Just
If
answer
you're
the question.
claiming that
Just answer the
inference
question. Do
rules,
you know what that term there means?
what skeptical suspension?
Yeah. What I'm asking you is, do you know whenever I say you can be skeptic of all logical principles, do you know what I mean by skeptic there?
It is rejecting the truthness, right, of this
No,
particular
that's
premise.
not what skeptic means. Skeptic does not mean rejecting the truth of something. Skeptic means skeptic means questioning the truth of something. Right? I'm still skeptic given I take an agnostic stance. Right? And so the point of the argument, so to be clear, the argument does not assume that they're false. And to be clear, also the first premise is a modal claim. It's saying that possibly you can be skeptic, or you can be reasonably skeptic of them. Right? And so even then, I'm not asserting that people are reasonably skeptic or anything like that. Right? The claim is just that you can be. And to be clear, given the point of that is to show that given you can be reasonably skeptic of them, then there has to be sufficient reasons in favor of all logical principles. And then given there's not sufficient reasons in favor of all logical principles, then to be clear, there's the conjunct in the second premise, which is people can be reasonably skeptical of all logical principles, and they're true. Well, for that to be true, there would have to be proper reasons in favor of all logical principles. And then given it's not the case there are proper reasons, and the conjunction is false, given the conjunction is false, but the first half of the conjunction is false, or the first half of the conjunction is true, then the second half has to be false, and so then it would turn out that all logical principles are false. Do you get the argument now? Do you understand?
Argument, but this is not, you're not claiming, you're not even claiming that like logic lacks some sort of non-question begging external justification. And that's not what you're claiming. You're claiming that all logic is false. Right?
Yes, that
That's
is the
logic,
conclusion.
that's
Good
the logical
observation,
leap.
retard.
Sorry, what?
I said yes, that is the conclusion.
Yeah, but it's invalid conclusion though, because even your
Wait,
formula for,
okay, and so
let's
now
say,
we're going to get back to the first question. How is the argument invalid? And so to be clear, I'll clear up what I mean whenever I ask that question. Can you tell me how it is not true that given all of the premises of the argument, the conclusion follows?
because your conclusion is first of all, when you look at even the formula for the let's say the inference rule that you gave for the negation of phi and the how do you call the other one? When you
Wait,
first of all, the formula there is wrong, right? Because in order for that argument to make sense, you have to say if you're negating phi and wait, what that
are you
Greek
asking me
symbol?
the formal version of P5?
No, the phi. No. I'm talking about the the Greek symbol, that the one that looks like a triton, whatever.
Where?
The symbol
Which just tell me which premise you want me to elaborate on.
yeah, so the one way like you give the formula for negation of phi, that other
Just tell me which
symbol.
premise you're confused on.
Okay, let me just find it. Which one was it? I'm trying to read your whole thing. So scattered. Wait.
Alexi, so you can write.
Yeah, man. His handwriting is. I'm sorry, not handwriting. His thing is so.
Bro said yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
go
so I
for it.
can just explain. I can explain the argument to you by voice, right? And then you just stop me where you think the argument fails. Okay, so by voice, the first premise is someone can. The first premise is someone can be reasonably skeptical of all logical principles. Do you deny that premise?
Repeat that again.
The first premise is someone can be reasonably skeptical of all logical principles. Do you deny that premise?
I don't deny that.
Okay. And then the second premise is if someone can be reasonably skeptical of all logical principles and it still turns out that the logical principles are true, then there must be sufficient reasons in favor of all of the logical principles. Do you deny this premise?
Yeah, don't continue.
Okay. And so the third premise would be some reason is sufficient just in case that reason is both non-circular and motivational to the skeptic. Do you deny that?
Wait, what?
Some reason is sufficient just in case it is both non-circular and motivating to the skeptic. And to be clear, you don't want to deny this premise because it's analytic. That's just what I mean by
Sure, yeah.
okay. And then the fourth premise is there are no sufficient reasons in favor of all of the logical principles.
I know what.
And or?
Sorry, you said there are no.
So conjunction and disjunction. Okay.
There are no sufficient reasons in favor of the logical principles. And now to be clear, when I say there are no sufficient reasons, I mean there are no non-circular and motivating reasons to believe them to the skeptic. Now, do you deny this premise?
I deny that premise.
You deny that premise?
Mhm.
Okay, can you give a sufficient reason in favor of any logical principle? Now, to be clear, what you're trying to get is not that logical principles are practically useful or that logical principles lend credence to views. What you're arguing for is that logical principles necessarily entail their conclusion. And to be clear, what that means is you're trying to argue that there is one entailment relation such that it holds, right? And so now, can you give me any reason to believe that there are entailment relations?
But yeah, because first of all, many members of the L, right, which is your logical principles, right, their inference rules, which is literally modus ponens, right, structural norms, constitutive constraints. So it's not like.
Oh,
It's not
okay,
like
so you just told me what an inference rule is. Now, can you give me a reason to believe in any of them?
But that's not what I said, you dumbass. I said it's literally modus ponens,
Is it just
structural
me, or did he
norms.
just define an
Are you
inference rule?
listening to what I'm
Did
saying?
he just
No, I
tell
said
me
some
what they
members.
are?
Some members, this guy is such a pea brain.
This guy
Some
just
members of L,
told me what
some
a
members,
logical principle is.
some
So now
members,
what
some
we're
members
gonna
are
do is
inference rules,
try
which is
number two
modus
from the
ponens. Is an
moron.
example,
Can
dude. You're not
we
even
get a
listening.
reason to believe in
It's
them?
not that I'm not doing how you call it, an exhaustive list of all logical
Wait, are
principles. You
you?
dumb.
No. All I'm asking you is to give me a reason in favor of one. Can you give me a
But
reason to
modus
believe
ponens,
at least one entailment relation holds? And now, to be clear, what I'm asking you for is a sufficient reason, right? And then you fill in the semantics from earlier. So, yes or no, do you have a sufficient reason in favor of believing that any entailment relation holds?
logical principles are neither true nor false. It's modus ponens. They are structural norms. They are not.
Okay, I
They are not
deny.
like
I'm
negation.
skeptical of the structural norms. Moron.
Yeah, I give up. You won the debate, bro.
That's
There's no. I'm gonna. You're literally trying to argue if modus ponens is wrong. Like what?
Yes, yes, I am skeptical of modus ponens. Yes, and you deny the fourth premise. And so now, to be clear, to deny the fourth premise, you would have to believe there's a sufficient reason in believing in modus ponens or whatever entailment relation you want to try to argue for. And so now, what I'm asking you for is the sufficient reason to believe in them, and you're not giving them. You're mad because I'm arguing for the fourth premise of my argument, which, keep in mind, you deny. Now, to be clear, what I want is an argument against the fourth premise, and you haven't given it yet.
Sufficient reasons to why modus ponens is false.
Yes.
Or what do you mean? Modus ponens by definition is true though. It's like an analytical thing. It's literally like
No.
saying,
No, it isn't. Wait, what?
it's
What's the
analytical.
argument?
What? Yes.
What's the argument for that?
Wait. Actually, no. Pensive. I just want to be clear. What do you think an analytic truth is?
Of well, they're self-descriptive, right? It's like opposite of synthetic, where you have to like
Okay, so
gain
you think
empirical
Wait,
data.
you think a definition being the
Synthetic is an
opposite?
opposite.
Wait,
wait, so do
you think a
wait,
useful
Pensive,
definition is negating the thing in question? W.
wait, Pensive,
What?
just don't wait, Pensive, just don't jump in. I want to do this between me and him. So you take like a kind of standard reason where you think that so you think that it's true by definition that modus ponens follows. Is that what you're saying? Hello?
Yeah,
You in
because
there?
there's no non. Yes, there is no non-circular inferential proof of modus
Wait,
ponens.
okay, so you think wait, so do you think that logical nihilists are denying an analytic truth?
Necessarily, when you say logical nihilists, right, you have to analyze what are they, like what is the
Logical okay, so
nihilism.
that just told me you've never talked about metalogic in your life. A logical nihilist is just someone who does not believe that there are any rules of inference or any laws of logic. Now, again, I'm going to ask the question, do you believe that logical nihilists are denying the analytic truths? The analytic truth specifically, modus ponens is valid.
Are you asking that can modus ponens be invalid? Is that your question?
Yes, the question is if it's an analytic truth that modus ponens is valid. Now, to be clear, if you say yes, I'm going to make fun of you.
Necessarily, hold on, it's not necessarily. But the claim here is that modus ponens. Hold on, the claim here is that like we must accept modus ponens because without like reasoning without it collapses, right? So obviously, when you're let's say analyzing a particular set of like data, you need modus ponens to make a conclusion. So obviously,
Wait, and is that just
modus-
reasserting? Is that just reasserting that it's that it's an analytic truth? Because to be clear, if you're saying that it's logically necessary, the only types of things.
Hold on,
Calm down.
Find
Calm
an
down.
analytic.
To be
Well, you
clear,
don't even
the only types of
define
things that are
analytic.
logically necessary are analytic truths, right? And so now it seems like all you're saying is that the reason to believe that modus ponens is logically necessary is because.
Yugi, we can't hear you.
You cut out. You cut out.
Yo, bro, yo, hello, Queen, nothing.
Short,
Hello.
12
Go.
second intermission because my grandma called me. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to explain it again. The reason you gave me to believe that modus ponens is logically necessary is just a synonym for saying modus ponens is logically necessary. So of course I just fucking deny the reason. So now can we get another reason in favor of the view?
Well, I view in terms of sufficient. Let's empirically analyze like let's say the sufficient reasons why you like let's say modus ponens can be rejected, right? Is there any non-circular inferential proof for modus ponens? I agree, no. Is there any skeptic
Okay,
proof epistemic grounding? No. But
Wait,
in
okay,
terms
so
of my
you
view,
grant
there's
premise
three.
5. So you
My
wait,
view.
so
Hold
you
on,
grant
no,
premise 4?
let me
So
finish.
you lied when
My
you said you
view.
denied premise 4 earlier? Because
I
that's just
don't.
what premise
Let
4
me
means.
finish. Let me finish. My view is positing that
Dude,
modus
you just
ponens is a
conceded to premise 4.
pragmatic necessity. Hold on, let me finish. My view is positing that modus ponens is a pragmatic necessity, it's a constitutive norm of reasoning, and it's transcendental condition, right? Of
What
let's
the
say
hell?
analyzing certain facts. So there's more views in favor of accepting that modus ponens is true than it being false. That's my point. Empirically, yes, I don't disagree that there is no
But you agree there's no circular reasons you agree there's no non-circular reasons in favor of accepting modus ponens?
reason. Yeah, I don't disagree with that. But
Okay,
there are
so
more
then that's
reasons.
conceded.
There are more reasons to
Wait. So you agree you lied earlier when you said you disagree with premise 4?
No, it wasn't a lie. What I was disagreeing there was the let's say like the semantic justification for your claim
The
because I was talking
semantic
about it.
justification? What does that even
Yes,
mean?
because I was referring to certain truths, certain logical principles such as modus ponens, right? Which has to fall
Wait.
under. But yeah, I
So
wasn't
you
lying.
agree
I
the
was
logic
literally saying
presupposes
that modus ponens is an.
do you agree
Yes,
do you
I
agree that
was
logic
literally saying.
presupposes all of its rules of inference?
Yeah, but like I said, modus ponens
Okay, and
is
so
one of the
what do you think the skeptic
so
is
first I
doing?
disagree. Yeah. What?
What do you think the skeptic is doing?
What is like
The
what
thing is not presupposing the laws of logic. Right now, to be clear, if your argument in favor of modus ponens is just that, I assume modus ponens, well, then the skeptic is just going to deny that because it's obviously not motivation to the skeptic because the skeptic is asking for a reason to believe in modus ponens. Now, what you're saying is that, really modus ponens is
hold on,
just
hold on.
modus
The
ponens.
skeptic
You're a
is
fucking
saying there
moron.
is. Listen,
Why did this guy
the
jump in and
skeptic
try to
is
pressure?
saying
This is so embarrassing.
there's
Worst one
no
I've ever
sufficient
seen.
reason.
Oh my god.
No, you're not even listening. The skeptic is saying there is no sufficient reason to believe this is true in a correspondence way, not in a, let's say, in a formal way or anything. It's just in a correspondence sense. That's all
No,
it
they're
means.
denying. To be
And
clear,
then
they're denying the
that's
logical
all it
system.
means.
No, they're denying the logical system.
What correspondence
Have
sense
you
means?
never
What I'm
taught?
trying to.
Wait, are you like unfamiliar with meta logic? This is the point. Whenever I say I deny a logical principle, I'm saying I deny the system in which assumes the logical principle, right? So whenever I say I'm a dialetheist, what I'm saying is that I disagree with classical logic, right? Now, and what a dialetheist would be asking in this instance would be asking someone, do you have any sufficient reasons in favor of believing the law of non-contradiction? Right now, to be clear, if the classical logician did the exact same thing that you're doing right now, what they would say is, well, the reason you should believe in the law of non-contradiction is because I assume the law of non-contradiction. And then that's obviously not motivational to the dialetheist. And so now what we're going to try and get is try number 3. Can I please get a sufficient reason in favor
Guys,
of
he's not
believing
going to answer
in
my
any
question.
logical
Hold on.
principle?
He's not even going to answer my question. Do you know what correspondence sense means? Answer yes or no.
Do I know what correspondence means?
When I say I reject the, in terms of I agree that modus ponens cannot explain non-secular truths in a non-secular truth, right? In a non-correspondent sense. Do you know what I mean by that?
Yeah, I assume when you say in the non-correspondent sense, I assume you're speaking in, there's a fucking plethora of ways you could be speaking. You could be speaking systemically. You could be speaking conceptually. You could be speaking, I don't know, maybe you could be like a fucking truth maker theorist. You would think that there's no truth maker for it. I don't know. There's like a fucking, I don't even know what you mean. What do you mean what do you think I mean what I'm saying? I'm not talking in I'm saying I can't explain it in a non-correspondence way. There's like a million different ways you could be saying that.
No, let me simplify this. What does non-correspondence mean in a semantic sense? What does it mean?
Non-correspondence means not corresponding to reality, I'd assume.
Okay, so how were you able to get to that now? You say you don't know I don't know the meaning.
How are we able to get to what? What are you
How
talking
did you get
about?
to that then? How did you get to that?
What do you mean? What are you talking about? You're like
I am
saying words.
simply referring to the semantic content of your argument. When I say in a non-correspondence way,
But we
obviously
agree.
I'm
But we
referring to the
agree that
fact
premise
that
4
this
means my
argument.
semantics
Oh my
because it's
god!
my
Oh my
argument, right? And so you
Oh
don't
my
deny
god! Oh my
premise
god!
4.
The only justification for your argument is the fact that with respect to modus ponens, there are no truth apps.
Okay.
There are
Do
no
you reject that
empirical.
reason is
There are
sufficient
no
if and only
empirical
if it's
matchmaking. There
non-circular
are no
and motivating?
empirical truth.
Do you reject
There are,
that?
oh my god! There are no empirical truth matchmakers, right?
Jesus, this
For
guy just keeps talking. Okay, yes or no?
yeah, because
Do you
that's all what the argument is. That's literally all it's claiming.
wait. Yes or no? Do you reject this statement? A reason is sufficient if and only if it is non-circular and motivated.
The only thing that proves your argument, right, is because your argument is not you're not
Wait.
positing.
Do you reject that?
What? Reject what? Sorry.
Do you reject this statement? A motivation is sufficient if and only if it is non-circular and motivating.
Reject that 100%.
Do you reject that?
Yeah, I reject that because I'm a substance dualist, right? I believe that like truth can exist in multiple forms. I don't think that just because
To
it's
be clear, this isn't about
non-contradictory.
truth, this is about reasons.
Yeah, reasons. Yeah, because you're dealing with epistemic facts as well. So I don't think that epistemic.
Do you think that truth is an
I don't
epistemic
think
feature?
no, but I'm saying that
Oh,
when you're trying to
okay,
arrive,
and reasons are an epistemic feature, right?
yes, but reasons are not epistemic though.
Truth was,
Reasons are
okay,
not
so you're bringing up
epistemic.
truth was
They are
irrelevant,
structural.
right?
No. Reasoning is not epistemic. Reasoning is structural. Epistemic means
No.
there's
We're not
like
talking about reasoning. We're talking about reasons. Those are different
I'm
things.
referring to reasoning, you dumbass. When I'm saying reasoning, the reason clearly why I'm saying reason
Wait,
here.
does my
is
argument
your
use the
argument,
term
your
reasoning
argument,
anywhere?
your argument is only
This guy's like
reasonable if you are
schizophrenic. What's
positing.
wrong with
Hold
you?
on. Your argument is only reasonable if you are if you are external world, if you're an external world skeptic, right? Or you don't believe that, like,
What?
let's say, if you believe, yes, because if you believe that truth facts can exist only in, let's say, some sort of theoretical way, right? Or that's the way you're putting it. Because when I'm talking about, yeah, because
Jesus.
the only way your argument makes sense, right, is because you're saying that there are no facts about the world that we know, right, that can match this particular.
No, my
claim.
argument
Yeah, that's
makes
what
sense
it
if
is.
there's no sufficient reason to accept a logical system. You can take that. You can take
No,
a
but the
view
only
on which
way
you
you
think
can.
you can take a
Oh
view
my
on which
God.
you think epistemology is
It's
probability based, and then you can be an external world realist, right? You would just think that there's no entailment relations. To be clear, that's what the conclusion is denying, that there's entailment relations, right? You can be a Bayesian and hold true to this. You can be a fucking maybe you take some other weird view where just any probabilist view, you can remain consistent with this, and you can take that the external world is true. I can actually give you an argument for it that does not assume any fucking inference rules. So it is
Yeah,
more
but the
expected.
only,
It is more expected.
okay,
It
I'm
is
just
more
gonna end with this.
expected. It
I'm
is
just
more
gonna end with this.
expected. It
The
is more
only, hold
expected.
on.
It is more expected on the external world realist view that we would have concordant experiences than it is on the not external world realist view. We do have concordant experiences, therefore. Just fucking say it with me. The external world realist view is more likely. Now, to be clear, that is not an entailment relation because I'm not an objectivist about probability, right?
End this on this. The only claim that justifies your proposition is that you don't think that modus ponens is a fact mirroring proposition. That is it. And I obviously I don't disagree with that as well. But it is not let's say it's not epistemically justified to assume that modus ponens, because obviously modus ponens is internally valid, it's truth preserving, and it's normatively binding, and it literally works in every single modality. It is modally sufficient. It is a necessary.
Talking about? What do you
Modus
mean by
ponens
it works?
it is a necessary logical proposition, right? It's not some sort of intermodal. It's
Wait,
literally
what the
a
fuck?
necessary logical structural proposition. The only thing that
Yes,
you have as a is
wait.
that I don't think modus ponens is a fact mirroring
What the fuck?
proposition. That's all you're saying. That's literally all you're saying. And if you want to argue with that, I mean,
The claim I'm making is that there are no entailment relations. I'm not making any statement about the practical usefulness of modus ponens, to be clear. Hello?
do you think modus ponens is modally true in every single, let's say,
I
like,
don't
do
know
you
what
think
it means. I don't know what it means for something to be modally true. That's an incoherent. That's incoherent because modal logic does not deal with truth.
Sorry, I meant necessary. My tongue slipped. Do you think modus
You
ponens
meant
is a necessary?
right? No. Well, then honestly, I don't grant that it's necessary. I mean, maybe it's logically necessary if you cash out. Maybe.
Hold on.
Why does this guy keep going? Maybe it's logically necessary if you think that the logical modality
What?
is
You don't think?
maybe
Hold
you
on.
think
You don't. Modus ponens is a
Jesus
necessary
Christ,
truth.
why does this guy keep talking? I'm just gonna talk over him. Maybe it's logically necessary if you define the logical modality in terms of classical logic, right? But presumably, since I deny classical logic, I would not define it that way, right? So maybe it's just an analytic truth on your view that it is true, but then I would just fucking reject the logical modality as you understand it. Did that clear up the concept for you, retard?
Okay, I don't know where you're getting. Condescending now, but
Yeah, I grant you don't know what I'm getting at. I grant you have no fucking clue what I'm saying. I grant that you're a retard. I grant that you're sub 80 IQ. I grant all of these things.
The fuck, I know what you're saying.
Ew, you're fucking
problem
bullying the guy.
The problem here is
Relax.
that you're literally rejecting. You're literally
Wait, Pensive, am I insane? Pensive, am I fucking crazy? Pensive, am I having like fucking negative quality right now? Am I like fucking experiencing something that's not happening? What's going on?
No, I don't even
also,
know. This feels like a fever dream, dude.
Bro, you are,
This
bro.
is this is you this is you attempting to pipe up and then getting fucking beat down. This is embarrassing for you. If I were you, I would fucking change my name, make a new name, and then go to fucking anime debate sidecoms and try to beat people there. Because clearly you're not built for people like me. Clearly you're not built
Oh
for this.
shit. DRV, get up, buddy, get up.
well, when you talk about, I asked a question you didn't answer. I said, is Modus Ponens a necessary truth? Yes or no?
I explained that I said no. What is wrong with you?
So
I
you would
answered
be
this
wrong. So
question.
you would be wrong because if you're internally critiquing laws of logic, Modus Ponens is a necessary truth under the laws of logic.
What the
Like, if you're internally-
Wait, okay. Yes or no, do we agree? I just want you to answer this very succinctly. Yes or no, if a system that denies contradiction internally leads to a contradiction, then the system is false? Just yes or no?
Not necessarily.
What?
Not necessarily. Not necessarily.
Wait, okay. I'll repeat it for you, and I want you to think about this one some more. Yes or no, if a system that denies contradictions internally leads to a contradiction, then the system is false. Yes or no? I really want you to give the right answer here, because there's a very obvious answer that everyone but you has picked up on.
I mean, it depends, right? What are you critiquing here? Are you critiquing...
What does it depend on?
Yeah, but because you're literally talking about like internal contradiction, right? Like what are you critiquing here? Right? I'm trying to understand.
I'm
Are you
critiquing classical logic?
Okay, that's not my.
Wait, okay. Maybe this is the confusion.
Yeah, but that's
Do we
not my
agree that
critique.
classical
I am
logic
not
denies
critiquing-
contradictions?
I am not critiquing classical logic. I'm just referring to the.
No, I am.
I am referring to the normative and the structural, let's say, process, right? For
The
logic.
normative and structural process.
Yes,
Dude, you're like
because
obviously trying to get out of the fucking ass beating I gave you. Like, what are you
Modus
doing?
Ponens
You
is
came
not-
in, you
oh my
came
God.
in, you came in, you came in, and you said my argument's invalid. You've seemingly conceded that because there's no fucking way you can defend it, right? And so now what we're trying to get you to is to agree to all of the premises. So far you've done it, and if you were to deny the fifth premise, you would be denying a fucking standard rule of inference on classical logic, which, to be clear, is an internal critique. And so, basically, practically, given your background assumptions, then you've conceded to the entire fucking argument, and so you agree the conclusion is true. Now, to be clear, what you're trying to do now is act as if you weren't denied my argument the entire time.
My claim is that modus ponens is a transcendental truth, because modus ponens reasoning, first of all, reasoning, assertion, and doubts are not intelligible without modus ponens. That's my proposition. You haven't given me any sufficient reasons why you think modus ponens is not valid. You're only talking about like
Would the
maybe
skeptic accept that?
Can you wait? First of all,
Would the
how can you
skeptic
talk
accept
about it?
any of the gibberish
How
you are
can a
spewing at me
skeptic?
right now?
Okay, fair. But even the skeptic is gonna have to go through some sort of.
Wait. Do you just agree that the skeptic would not accept all of the gibberish you're spewing to try and get out of the corner you've backed yourself in?
It doesn't matter because I said.
Wait. No. Don't. It doesn't matter out of it. Yes or no, would they accept it?
Even if they don't accept it, it doesn't matter because
Yes or they accept it. Just answer the question. You're trying to dodge. Yes or no, would they accept it?
But even their process of doubting is okay. But even their process of doubting.
No,
or not,
don't dodge. Stop trying to give me the fucking paywall ramble. Yes or no, would they accept it? No one here is interested in the 5-minute paywall ramble. Yes or no, would they accept it?
I mean, sure, they won't accept it.
And to be clear, you know what? I'll just assume you're saying no, because that's the obvious answer. Now, the issue is that for the same gibberish that you're saying, I can give the exact same argument. I can say the exact same thing, and then you would have to take sufficient reason in favor of believing it's a fucking transcendental truth. But you yourself think that transcendental truths, as you said before, are circular, right? You have agreed that all reason in favor of modus ponens is circular, right? And then the same would have been, and then we would end up at the same point. Your attempt to fucking gibberate and slide and slither your way out of the critique just landed you back into the critique.
They got you.
Dude, he's literally claiming that Modus. He's literally claiming that like the skeptic is not gonna have sort of, because even the skeptic is going through some sort of let's say an intelligible critique, right? Let's say you're a skeptic, you're going through an intelligible critique, so obviously you're literally, by that means you're literally invoking Modus Ponens by that, right? You're literally being a skeptic. You cannot make a reasonable proposition, you cannot make an analytic proposition
Please shut the fuck up.
without Modus Ponens. Everything
Yeah.
just collapses without Modus
Ours is
Ponens.
still
Okay.
going.
You locking
This
in?
guy is embarrassing himself.
He,
Okay,
How?
let him
wait,
speak.
wait,
He
what do you
locking
think
in,
I've
bro.
been
Let
Logic
him
denying?
talk.
collapses
Wait, okay,
without
I've told you
Modus
this.
Ponens. That's a
Actually,
fact.
I'll ask you this question, and then after you answer, I'll ask Pensive to make sure I'm not crazy. So, what have I been denying this entire debate?
Yeah, you're denying that you're literally denying that the concept, you're denying my criticism, in which I am not necessarily criticizing your inference rules, right? I'm criticizing the fact that your inference rules is constituted of false claims, right? You're claiming that when you talk about like logical principles in general, you're claiming that this particular logical principles, due to the fact that there is no kind of like external critique or non-secular criticism of these particular terms, these particular things cannot be inherent. These things cannot be like inherently truth, or they're not truth. I don't disagree with that, but the problem here is that when you're talking about, let's say, logic, classical logic laws, or even like laws of logic, right? Modus ponens modus ponens is literally what binds the laws of. Without modus ponens, laws of logic are just symbols. Modus ponens is what binds everything together. So without modus. That's why I brought up modus ponens earlier. That you could talk about all these particular laws. Yeah, sure, fine, but modus ponens is literally what by any assertion to its conclusion. So it literally makes no sense for you to reject like laws of logic as a whole, because even criticism in itself, like it literally has to invoke modus ponens as well. There has to be some sort of follow-up claim, right? Every single thing has it's a chain reaction. You cannot be claiming that modus ponens is not a valid proposition. It makes no sense if you're claiming that modus ponens does not have any kind of external way in which you can, like, let's say, like, verify or has something like truth happiness. I don't disagree with that, but modus ponens is literally an existing, it is a necessary like proposition for logic, right? Logic cannot exist without modus ponens. So except you have like a sufficient reason why you think that's the case, but obviously no. Every single logician disagrees with you.
Oh, okay, so two things. First of all, yes, of course I agree, retard. If this argument follows, then there is no logic. That's the fucking conclusion. You're a retard. You have no clue what you're talking about. Second of all, hey, Pensive, is any of that what he just said? What I've been critiquing this entire
No. Very obviously no.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
But
to
I
be
got
clear, I'll explain on Pensive's behalf. I'll tell you again, this is the fucking fifth time I've told you. What I said I'm critiquing is I don't believe there are any entailment relations. Now, you have no clue what that means because you've never looked into logic whatsoever. I don't know why you came to engage with me on this subject. You're getting fucking mollywopped. Now, I'll explain to you what an entailment relation is. An entailment relation is a relation between two or more propositions such that the first set of propositions entails some other set of propositions. Now, to be clear, what I'm saying is that I don't think there are any relations of that nature. Now, what you've been trying to do this entire fucking debate is slime and slither your way out of that because you realize you have no fucking way to engage with me. You're dodging. You're running the fuck away. Now, to be clear, what we're gonna give you one last try. We're gonna give the retard one last chance. Can you give a non-circular reason in favor of any logical principle?
Yes, and first of all, you blundered. By the way, we talk about modus. Let's say modus. Let's give an example. You claim that logical
Wait, what
premises don't
was
have.
the blunder?
It's a blunder because you claim that modus ponens does not have any internal relations. That is false. Because
Yeah,
first
that's
of
a
all,
blunder.
Sorry, repeat that. Sorry, repeat that.
you claim that modus ponens, right, or logical reasons, some logical principles don't have any substantive internal relations, right? Is that what you're claiming?
No,
So
modus ponens is an instance of an entailment relation. If I deny entailment relations, then I deny modus ponens. I think that modus ponens being a type of entailment relation means that it is a relation. I think that modus ponens is an example of an entailment relation. I deny entailment relations, therefore I deny modus ponens. So that's not a blunder, is it?
blunder because you're denying. Hold up, that's fine, but you're denying entailment.
Wait, so you
relations.
but you
So-
sign off that that's not a blunder, right? You sign off that you're retarded.
It
You
is
sign
a
off that you're
blunder.
illiterate. You sign off that you had no clue what I was
It's a
saying.
blunder. It is a blunder because earlier you
Wait,
said
what was
you
the
don't.
blunder then? What false thing did I say?
You literally said you don't. First of all, you literally said modus ponens does not have any entailment relations. That's
No,
what you
I said that. What I
Now
said is that I think there are no entailment
now
relations.
you're changing to now. Okay, now you're changing
What I
to I
said
don't
was I
think
think that there are no entailment relations.
yes. And what is the and for
And
for
then
what for
and
modus
then
ponens,
given
right?
I
For
think that
modus
modus
ponens,
ponens
right?
is an example
For
of an
modus
entailment relation. What does that mean? Fucking
wait.
fill
So
in
are
the
you?
blank. Use your inference making skills that you clearly have because you defend logic so hard. Use the fucking logic you're defending so hard. What is shown given I think that I'll fucking give you the premises. Premise 1, not all entailment relations. Premise 2, modus ponens is an example of an entailment relation. What the fuck is the conclusion there?
Blunder. Claiming that entailment relations are false is a category error, by the way. Nice blunder.
What?
Yes,
It is a category error.
it's a category. Yes, it's a category error. Yes, it's a category error.
It is.
Wait, you said it's contradictory. Was that the claim?
It's a category error. That's what I'm saying.
Wait, okay. Do you remember what I thought an entailment relation was? Do you remember the explanation I gave?
Yes, you are saying that modus ponens is a type of
Yeah, it's a type of it. Now, what is an entailment relation?
entailment relation is well, an example could be like a semantic entailment, right? Or something like
What the fuck? No, I'll explain it again. So an entailment relation is a relation between two sets of propositions that's given the first set of propositions, then the second set of propositions is true. I deny that there are any propositions such that relation holds. No, because the retard is going to go on another retard rant. I am not saying Jesus, what is going on in BB's mic? I am not saying that given some set of agents are not justified in believing things. I'm not saying that there's no probability raising relationships. What I am saying is that there's no entailment relationships. I think that your confusion is that you think probability raising relationships are a type of entailment relationships. Now, to affirm that, you would have to think that fucking probability theory is a type of logic, but I deny that. I think that's analytically false because I think that logic is derivative of mathematics. I think that it's the other way around. Now, to be clear, we're gonna get another response from the retard. He's gonna talk to himself for 5 minutes, and then we're all gonna mutually laugh at him.
Why are you spurging out, dude? You literally blundered.
What was the blunder?
You made a
Keep
very
saying I'm
huge
blun-
category error.
Keep saying I'm blundering, and then he's obviously wrong.
It's a blunder. You're claiming that entailment relations can be falsified. That's a category large,
What?
big, fat, dumb fucking blunder. Like the fuck? That's a blunder, dude. You blundered. Now you're
That's a blunder.
spurging.
What?